Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs Show. Happy Monday afternoon. Hope you're well, hope you're having a good day, solid day, whatever it is, all right? Excuse the sweaty hair. I'm not long home from the gym, so leave me alone, all right? Got a really good video. I think this is going to be a good one, where we're talking about something that Paul O'Keefe released around news sort of regarding the attacker. It looks like it's going to be more of a right wing idea, okay? You'll see what I mean in a second, don't worry. I'm going to go into some details, some contracts as to why maybe one might happen more than the other, all that jazz. Don't worry, your boy's got you. Just want to say, if you're new, subscribe. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. And let's talk what Paul O'Keefe first said. And there's a second part, but I haven't actually got it screenshotted for this. And he put out that, understand Barcelona attacker Raphinha is among one of those who interest Tottenham ahead of the next transfer window. He actually went on also to say that Pedro Neto, the right winger at Wolves, is a guy on the list as well. So I wanted to sort of go into really what contracts they're on, that sort of thing, what one might cost less than the other, all that jazz, right? So when we start with Raphinha, and his contract expires in the summer of 2027, right? And I was looking at it, he supposedly earns just shy of £200,000, not euros, pounds per week. So he's going to have to take a pay cut because he's not going to get that at Spurs, I can promise you that. And then a lot of you might go, but why don't you just pay it? There's a reason why other teams struggle with their financial fair play because they pay too much on their wages and Spurs have zero issues. Sometimes it does benefit us, okay? He's also not going to get paid more than the players that are there at the moment, barring Son. You don't want to upset the apple cart. And, that makes a lot of sense, okay? There's not really an argument to that one, unfortunately. So when we look at it, this is also summer moves, right? So this is the summer of 2024. So he's got 3 years left on his contract. Now, Barcelona have horrific financial fair play issues. Now, he had a contract starting for 5 years. So this would have been 2 years in, okay? I think they paid something like 70 million euros. So when you work out for the maths on that, it's 14 million euros a year that is sort of allocated to this deal. That's how I'm going to work with it. So they would have paid in the summer coming up 28 million euros. Okay, they paid 70 yet. Let's say paid 70. Let's just say they've got about 40 million euros left. They're going to want that at least, if not more. So let's call it they want 40 million pounds, which I think is like 46 million euros. So at least they get out of that financial fair play issue. They get a few quid as well in the back pocket because he is sitting behind Lamine Yamal, I think his name is, the 16-year-old, really good player. We saw him in the pre-season against Spurs. So he's sitting behind him, but Spurs aren't going to want to do a deal where it's just going to be like, we're going to help you out, Barca. So they have the money spent on that kind of thing. And I think they would spend £40 million on a winger. I'm not worried about that. And I think he would add a different dynamic because Raphinha could offer you pace. Pardon me, he'd offer you pace, but he offers you that sort of left foot to cut in ability that Kulusevski has. So he offers you, maybe what Johnson offers you with lots of pace, but he also offers you the technicality, the close dribbling, the ability to whip a ball in, invertedly, that Kulusevski does. So he does a bit of both, which I think is interesting to kind of take note on. Now, when we look at Neto, same sort of thing. It cuts in on the left foot, but he's got pace like Johnson. So there's the difference between the two. He's on about £50,000 a week, they seem to reckon. Now, obviously, this is like conjecture. We don't truly know, but normally these are good benchmarks and ballpark figures. His contract also ends in the 2027 summer. I don't think he has much issues when it comes to financial fair play. When it comes to Wolves, they're going to make money on him, that's for sure. He's going to cost a lot more than Raphinha. Okay, so when we look at Raphinha, I think he'd cost anywhere 50 million and less. Okay, that's how I think they'll cost, all right? Neto, I think it's going to cost probably 70, 80 million and maybe 60 to 80 million. Let's put it in there. Maybe, actually, I probably think 70 to 80. I think, even a little bit more maybe. So he's obviously going to be more expensive. He's also got age on his side. He is younger than Raphinha, so there's something that you can hold on to there. I'm not going to be like, he's Prem proven. They're both Prem proven. They're both done very well in the Prem. I'm not really worried about that. If I had to pick the one that I would want, yes, Neto would be the one that I want. But he'd also cost, an absolute fortune. Now, I don't see Spurs having an issue if they need to spend I think it'd probably be a deal like 60 million that can add up to 80. That kind of vibe. I don't think Spurs are going to go, here's 80 million. That's not what they're going to do. And they never would. So I think if we were to do this, I think they'd go 60 up to make, up towards 80, even more maybe if they need to. But the other thing I was thinking about it is, let's say you have to raise funds, right? I'm trying to be as like, not pessimistic in a bad way, but just in case like these things do need to happen, right? So follow me on this story. I know it might be a little bit too much to start off with. Let's say Spurs were to go and get a midfielder and they spend 40 million. Let's say they go get a defender who's going to cost 20 million, 60 million, right? Yeah, Spurs probably could have a little bit more to spend up to 100, 110 without any real issues. So then that's where Raphinha would come in. But let's say you go, we really do want Neto. Neto fancies a little bit of Spurs. We could definitely get him. And I don't think by this point in this summer, I don't think you're going to need a ton of new depth, right? So I think, left back, let's see what Cess is going to do. But you might need to go and get a left back. But you could probably get one fairly cheaply, right? Centre half, let's say you get Lloyd Kelly. Sorted. It's free. Easy. Right back, let's see what Emerson does. I think he's had a good attitude. He's been important this year with his versatility. Yeah, maybe the ability is not as high as what we want it to be. But let's just say he's the right back. You don't have to worry about that. If you go get Conor Geiger, there's your midfielder. Højbjerg goes out. Kind of sorted. Maybe a young guy comes in, I don't know, as well. Obviously, you got Lucas coming in there in the summer, so maybe they kind of go, that's enough now. We're sorted in midfield. Right, in the attack, maybe we keep Werner. So we've got to spend 15 million. You've got to add that to the list. If let's say it's 40 on Gallagher, let's say it's 15 on Werner, let's say all in all those sort of things come to like 70 million with like signing on fees, all that jazz, right? Spurs can't just go, Spurs could, but they're not going to go and spend, let's say, up to 80 million and make 150 million and not really have raised much. They would have raised like 15 million on Højbjerg, so they're not going to really do that. So let's work at it and kind of go, right, what would they need to do to be able to kind of fund that? And the way I look at it is, how can you fund that one move from sales? Cool, right, 15 million Højbjerg. Okay, cool. You still need to make, let's say, 65 million, all right? I'm trying to make it as difficult as possible so it makes it a bit more logical. Okay, cool, right, well, you're going to sell Regulon, you get 10 million for him. Cool, right. So not 65 million, now you need 55. Okay, cool, well, we'll sell Tanganga, we'll get about 10 million. Okay, 45. Joe Rodon, you can get 15 million for Joe Rodon, I think. Okay, cool. So now you need 30. Where are you going to get 30 from? Well, I think Brian Hill, you can get about 10. 20 to go. Let's have a look. Tanguy Ndombele. Don't really think there's going to be anything there, to be honest. I'm not going to use him because I think, you know what I mean. Who else is potential that you could maybe move on from? Giovanni Celso. I think you can get 20 million for Giovanni Celso, but you would need to replace him probably. So there's that other catch-22 there. If you look into the attack, in reality, they won't move on Solomon. They're not moving on Son. Away Richarlison's going, they're not moving Richarlison on. Valise young, Scarlett young. Johnson, they're not moving him on. Kulusevski, they're not moving him on. So you can see what I mean. So they'd have to maybe raise funds elsewhere. They obviously moved on to some big contracts. That will help massively. And all those players that are leaving will free up money. Tanganga leaving, that's academy. That's all profit to financial fair play as well. I'm just having a little think if there's anything else that maybe in that squad, maybe if you move them on, you make a bit of money. Well, Jed Spence, okay, so maybe that's another 10. So you see what I mean? You could do it, but you would need to have some sales. I think that's how it's going to work. With Raphinha, you wouldn't need as many sales. It'd probably be an easier deal because Barca are going to want that money to free up financial fair play to maybe bring in one or two. Deco's talking about how, he doesn't want to, take away a first teamer. And he was like, oh, Raphinha played more than Dembele. Well, now Lamine Yamal's playing a lot more than Raphinha. And they'd be better off just letting Raphinha go, making Yamal is the right winger, make that money back. Because Barca desperately need money. It's awful. So I don't know. My bet would be they'd rather go Raphinha, not Lange or anyone, but I think they go Raphinha because it's an easier deal and you can exploit Barca. But the sexy deal was Neto, let's be honest. It's Neto. Can you imagine a front three of Sonny, Richie, Neto? You have Madison filling, sort of pinging out the balls there. Saar, Basuma, Adogi, Porro, Van der Ven, Romero, Vic. Then you've got players like Dragujin, Kulusevski. Gallagher, Bentancur, Johnson, Solomon, the Lees. You've got low. That's not bad. That's what I'm saying. You could do a big signing because you don't need as much depth as you do from last summer. Because you did so much last summer. And I think if you can fill in a Lloyd Kelly for free, that's a little steal. That's how I look at that deal. It's a little steal. That's how I think Levy will look at it. But we shall see. But anyway, guys, at the end of the video, I hope you enjoyed. Drop a like on the video if you did. Hit me in the comment section below. Your thoughts, feelings about the two boys. Who do you want? Why do you want him? All that jazz. Let's have that conversation. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the bell notification for more. But anyway, guys, at the end of the video, I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, guys.